everybody this Friday afternoon here to our 2013 Sever's Corn Maze. We'd like to welcome you to our Explore Minnesota Wildlife Educational Program. My name is Kevin and I'll be your narrator here this afternoon as we bring several of our little special animal friends out this afternoon, and we just got it by a porcupine. And we're going to talk a little bit about each one of these little guys. We're going to talk about some of the really special, cool adaptations and the features that they got to help them live and survive in the wild. And this year, we based our show just on strictly Minnesota animals because the corn maze is Minnesota themed. So all these animals that we have here today are found right here in Minnesota. Now our first one is our little porcupine friend. Now he's got some really cool and unique features. Now we're all aware, I'm sure, that the porcupines have quills. This little guy here, he's only a few months old, and when he's completely full grown, he's going to have about 20,000 quills all over his whole body. Now these quills have a little microscopic barb or a fish hook on the end of them. Now if you were to get poked by one of them like I just did, it sticks into your fingers pretty good and it's hard to pull out. And that's the idea. In fact, if you don't get them out, those quills will penetrate at the rate of about an inch per day. Now they can cause an infection, and for us, we can pull them out, it's no big deal. But if you're a coyote or a dog or whatever it may be, it can be very, very serious and life-threatening. Now these little guys are found in the trees in northern parts of Minnesota. Now you would think for an animal that spends most of its time in trees and has about 20,000 quills on its back, he would be a very good tree climber, but he's not. He's very clumsy. In fact, he falls out of the trees quite a bit. Now this could be a problem, but he is the only animal in North America that actually has a special antibiotic on his skin, and it prevents him from getting an infection from his quills. Now because his body is covered in quills, he doesn't have a lot of natural enemies. The main enemy of the porcupine is the fisher, which is kind of like a mink or a weasel on steroids. And they'll kind of keep running around and they'll kind of keep nipping at the porcupine's face until they're able to overcome that porcupine. Now these little guys are a member of the rodent family, and the rodent is any animal whose front teeth never stop growing. And that's why they're so destructive, because they always have to chew to keep those teeth in line. Otherwise they can grow through their chin or their jaws. So that's our little porcupine friend there. And we're going to put him back in his little pet taxi. He's just a little bit new to the show business here. Let's see how he does. There he goes. A couple of little interesting facts we have here about Minnesota wildlife is Minnesota is home to 78 different species of mammals. We have 423 different types of birds that call Minnesota home. We have the largest population of timber wolves and bald eagles in the lower 48 states. Now our next little guy is a guy that you're all familiar with. You may have seen him in your backyards. You've seen him, driving along the road. You've seen him out in the ditches, out in the fields. Unfortunately, we always see a lot of them laying alongside the road. And I bet everybody here smelt this little guy. This here is Peppy. Peppy Le Pew. He is better than the porcupine. He's a striped skunk. Now in Minnesota, we have two types of skunks. We have the very large striped skunk here. Would you like to pet his tail? And we have the very small and endangered spotted skunk. Now, I'm sure you get it? Okay. Yeah, you bet. I'm sure everybody here, have you ever smelled the skunk before? Yeah? Maybe the dog has come home smelling like a skunk, or you smelt one laying alongside the road. Well, that smell, as bad as it is very, very important to this little guy's survival. But how he sprays is really different. Now this little guy here, he has two scent glands, one on each side of his tail. Get a good look there. Now these scent glands in a skunk like this, they're about the size of a peanut or a small grape, and they're wrapped in a muscle. Now when he becomes frightened or scared or thinks he's in danger, they can constrict or squeeze that muscle, and that squeezes that sac, and that forces out that pleasant odor that we all love so much. And that's how they spray. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. The only time you get to do that without getting sued. No, he doesn't. No. And that's how they spray. Now they're very good at spraying. They can spray 10 to 15 feet. He can even control his spray. He can turn it into a mist or a stream, whatever he feels is necessary for the time. And he can do this about 10 times in a row. Now believe it or not, these little guys, as often as we smell them, they don't like to spray if they don't have to. Because as I said, he can do this about 10 times and then he's empty. And it takes him actually about 2 weeks to refurbish or to build that supply back up. And that could actually leave these guys defenseless in the wild. But Mother Nature's better than that. These guys have another means of defense, another way of protecting themselves that works very well, and it's something really easy that you don't think about. And that is his color. And you look at him, you think, well, how does his color work to defend himself? It works very, very well. A lot of animals that we're used to learning about, you know, they use camouflage, they blend in with the grasses or the trees or whatever it may be. Well, we set this little guy up here on these straw bales, and you can see him really easy, can't you? In fact, this little skunk here, he wants to be seen. He's not trying to hide. That's because these bright colors serve as a natural warning to other animals. It's telling them that you better not get too close or something bad could really happen. So that's how their colors work to defend themselves. Now these guys also get kind of a bad reputation, you know. You hear a lot of bad things about them. Distemper and rabies, and you don't know how they smell. A lot of that is true. They do carry a lot of that. But they also do a lot of good, and we benefit by having these guys around. We eat a lot of insects, a lot of worms, a lot of moles. Not so much in Minnesota, but in the southern part of the country, about half of their diet is made up of insects that are actually harmful to us, like a black widow spider. So as long as we stay away from this end, we'll be all right. Now these guys are found throughout Minnesota. They're very adaptable. You'll find them in cities, you'll find them in towns, you'll find them in the country, out in the fields, in the ditches, and parks. They're very adaptable. They're very, very successful. One of the reasons you see so many of them laying alongside the road is because they have bad eyesight. He can only see about 10 feet. That's all the farther he can really see. So they don't see the cars coming in time. So that's our little skunk. Now our next little animal friend, I guess the best way to describe him is he's got a face only a mother could love. Poor little guy. Poor little Opie. But I think you guys will get a kick out of him. A little possum. It's actually a Virginia possum. Now found throughout the world, there are 103 different types of possums. Now these little guys, they're not much to look at, but they got some really cool and unique features that other animals don't have. First of all, the possum here is the only animal in North America, Minnesota, that is a marsupial. And that means that the female here, Opie's a female, she has a pouch right here. You see that? And that's where the babies are raised. Now they're not born in this pouch. It's just like a kangaroo, the exact same thing. She gives birth to about 20 babies. Now those babies are born after a 12-day gestation. They crawl out, after they're born, they crawl into their mother's pouch. Now she has enough room for about, she has enough room for about 15 of these little babies. So they don't all survive, they don't all make it to the pouch. Now they'll stay in this pouch for about 6 weeks. They'll come out and they'll actually kind of hang onto their mother's back. And that's when they're really cute. They are really, really cute little babies when they're little. And that's what a marsupial is. Now the possum here is also the only animal in North America with a prehensile tail. Just like that. Now, unfortunately, she doesn't use it like a monkey. She can't go swinging from tree branch to tree branch. In fact, when she becomes full grown, her body will actually be too heavy to be supported by the weight of her tail. So they use their tail for something else. When they're climbing trees, they use it as an anchor point, as a security point, give them a little stability. They use it like an extension of their body, and that's what their tail is for. Now the possum here has got quite a set of chompers. She has 50 teeth in her mouth, believe it or not, for a little animal like that, 50 teeth. One of her favorite meals is roadkill. They love to eat roadkill. And that's why you see a few of them laying alongside the road, because they don't move real fast. But they're scavengers. They're like the skunks. They're very adaptable. You find them in the cities, the country, the towns. They'll eat anything. They'll eat insects, they'll eat small lizards and small snakes. When you turn the porch light on sometimes at night, you see them in the cat food or the dog dish. They don't care. They'll eat just about anything. So this is our little Opie, our little possum. Now we have one more little guy that we're going to bring out. Do we have anybody that likes Disney movies? You guys watch Disney? Yeah? You know who Todd is? You ever seen a movie with Todd? Huh? I think you'll like Todd. Here, Todd. Yeah, the Fox and the Hound. Todd here. You know what Todd is now? He's a gray fox. He's a cousin of the red fox. But what's really cool or unique is that he's only about half the size of the red fox. But these guys are much more aggressive and much more dominant, so they will actually chase the red fox out of the area. So wherever you see gray fox, you hardly ever see any red fox. Now the gray fox here also has the distinction of being the only fox in the world that can climb trees. They're a true arboreal animal, and they're very, very good at climbing trees. And they climb trees for a couple of reasons. They may climb trees to get away from predators, such as wolves or coyotes, even humans. But more importantly, he's kind of a baby, yeah. More importantly, they climb trees to look for food. They might find their favorite meal up there, like a bird or a squirrel or a chipmunk. So their climbing trees is very, very helpful to them. It's a part of their survival. These guys are found throughout the United States, but only in certain regions. It's like in Minnesota. We live in southern Minnesota. We don't have any gray fox by us. They're found more in the wooded areas, the brush country. That's where they prefer to live. They're also very, very adaptable. They eat just about anything. In Minnesota here, these little guys, they're going to eat small rodents, they're going to eat birds, squirrels, reptiles, lizards, whatever. In California, the gray fox, they actually eat mainly fruits and vegetables. Once again, very, very adaptable. Very successful. These guys here, they'll live to be about 8 to 10 years old. They start reproducing after about their second year, and they're monogamous. They tend to mate for life. Now the pups will stay with the female for the first year, and she'll have litters every single year. So this is our little gray fox here, little Todd. That was our final animal that we have for you this afternoon. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you learned a couple of things. Mike is up, I believe, at 6:30 with the next magic show. You want to stick around and see that if you haven't yet. We have our final pig race at 7:30 this evening. There's lots of things to see and do here this year at the Corn Maze. We'd like to say once again, thank you everybody for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon or evening. Thank you very much. Stay out with the one.
hiding. The blue one. I don't want the yellow one. Holy cow! Holy
So stereotypical. What are these things?
I gotta give this one.
Oh, these are Nilgai, the antelope of India.
Hey. Hey. Will I eat that? Yeah. Every single one drops
Dear love. Fluttershy would have loved that. Love this. Right, Applejack? Yes, sir. these are Brahmas. Being some nastier. It's like a deformed camel egg sac thing. It's blind with a dog mouth. Like dog snout.
Oh, look at that. They're Brahmas.
This guy's calmer than he was last year. It's going so crazy then. Llamas. No, alpacas. Look at this thing, llama drama. It's a buffalo.
Oh, he's reading my finger. Oh, you're reading it.
Patagonian cabby. Now here is the llama drama. And camel gamamel. It's not hump day today.
Hey, Mars. Heads up.
guy's lonesome. He's jealous his neighbors get to go by the dozens, half dozens.
Drink tail leaf.
Do we just drop that?
I don't know where we're going. I think you got to slide food down here.
Okay.
Look, if you stand there, just sit there. Doesn't go down. Right there, so look.
Dun dun dun.
Booyah! About
Dun
that.
dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. No! We animals! Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Whee!